Okay, so I know we've talked about addition of rational expressions. Rational means ratio, right? Ratios are fractions, right? So whenever you see the word rational expressions, you know they're talking about fractions. Oftentimes they're with variables, okay? Now, sometimes, now you know how to do, what did I do with that slide? I'm going to just do a different one first. I'm going to put that aside for a second. I'm going to do this one over here. You guys knew how to do 2 over a plus 3 over 2a, because we could immediately figure out, oh, well, this is 2a, this is only 1a. I could turn this into a 2a, right? So to turn that into 2a, I would just multiply both sides, both top and bottom, by 2. And then I'd have 4 over 2a plus 3 over 2a. Since I have common denominators, I can just add the numerators. 4 plus 3 is 7 over 2a. Right? That's pretty easy. Now, the difference, though, between that and this is there's a plus sign here. Right? So what some people might think, oh, well, look, this has an x, that has an x, and an a. So we'll just do an a. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Plus a.
Right? Because, and then they think, oh, well, then plus a. We'll just do a plus a. And then we multiply it out and we get ax. Oops, not x plus a. We get ax, right? So that isn't going to work, right? So this method doesn't quite work. It does, actually, but not the way I did it. What we have is when there is a plus sign between two things, in other words, a binomial, I have to take that as a whole, right? That's a whole thing. So I have x here, and I have x plus a here. There's two totally different things. So my common denominator is going to be x times x plus a. X times x plus a. So that means I've got to adjust both of them. This side, I am going to multiply both top and bottom by x plus a. X plus a, x plus a. This side, I am going to multiply both top and bottom by x. Okay? So to do this, I have to use distributive property. This times this, and this times this. This times this, and this times this. So that would give me 2x plus 2a over x squared plus ax. Oh, actually, no, wait, on second thought, I'm going to leave, I don't even need to do that. I'm going to leave this just the way it is. I'm not going to use distributive property. I'm just going to keep the denominator just x times x plus a. Okay? And then plus just 3a times x, that's 3ax over x times x plus a. So because now I have common denominators, right, I can add my numerators. There are no common like terms. There's no like terms.
Can you simplify your bottom though?
I could multiply it out. It's okay to multiply it out, but a lot of times it's too much work. There's no need to. And the other thing is, sometimes it's helpful to have it factored already, because sometimes when you combine the numerators, you factor out the numerators, and then you realize, oh my God, there's an x I could factor out. You know what I mean? Top and bottom. Whereas if I multiplied it out, I wouldn't see those factors, and it would just so I wouldn't necessarily have it in simplified form. So because I have common denominators, I can just combine the numerators. So it's 2x plus 2a plus 3ax all over x times x plus a. I'm done.
Don't you simplify that number?
I can't, because they don't all have x's, so I can't take an x
No,
out.
I know, but if you could like multiply at the bottom and then you could like take out x's from the top.
No, I can't, because of the plus sign. Remember, I mean, I could multiply that out, but I won't be able to take anything else out upstairs and downstairs. In order to take something out upstairs, they all have to have the same thing.
Yeah.
Something the same. They don't. This has an x, that has an x, but that doesn't have an x. this has an A, that has an A, but that doesn't have an A, so I won't be able to ever take anything out. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to try, we're going to do another one. I'm going to just do some of these that are on the board. I mean, on the book. Can I erase? What?
Not the ball.
Not the box.
Okay, you can erase the ball.
I can erase the box? Okay. All right, I'm going to do a slightly harder one. So we have, where is it? Oh yeah, A plus B over X plus C over M plus D. Now they all have to be fractions, right? I need to turn them all into a common denominator, even the D, right? So D is really D over 1, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? So if that's the case, now I have 3 fractions. So what is going to be my lowest common denominator? Or my common denominator? Yeah, xm, because 1 times xm is just xm, right? So xm. So what is this one missing? An m. What is this one missing? An x. What is this one missing? Yeah, mx. mx. So I am going to distribute my numerators though. So I've got a, m. I like to write my, I like to write my variables in alphabetical order. That tends to be the common approach, accepted practice for math, for algebra. So plus mb. Oh yeah, sorry. Whatever. Dm. And then all over mx. And then plus cx all over mx plus dmx all over mx. So now I have common denominators. So I can just add my numerators. There are no like terms, really, for me to do with these, since they're all variables. I'll just go am plus bm plus cx plus dmx all over mx. Right? And I can't take anything out of here because this has an m, but this doesn't. This doesn't have an x, so I can't take. If I'm going to take something out of this, it's got to be in all of these in the numerator, right? So that's all I can do. That's the most I can do. That looks pretty useless, right? I mean, but it is sometimes useful because what you're learning is how to take, in a way, formulas. Like let's say that was a formula. You can manipulate formulas. You're learning ways to manipulate formulas to give you the kind of information you want. Like for example, if you had, let me think. Well, we'll do something easy. If we know that the area is equal to base times height, and somebody gave me all the heights, and they gave me the height and the area, and they asked me to find the base, right? Then I would rather not have to. Let's say they gave me, okay, the height is 2, the area is 10, and then they said,
What area? What?
and then they said, okay, another time the height is 5 and the area is 20, and whatever. They gave me all these things, and I was at a job, and I had to go through and figure all these answers out. I would want to solve this for B first, right? I would want to solve my formula for B so I can immediately say, oh, it's 10 divided by 2, or 20 divided by 5 to get my answer, as opposed to, if I had to substitute these in, it would be 10 is equal to B times 2, and then I'd have to divide both sides by 2, and I have 5 is equal to B. Well, that's 2 steps. I'd rather do this. I'd rather take my formula and solve for b. H. So I have b, I'm writing it this way now. b is equal to, if those cross out, a over h. A over h. So there's my formula. So immediately I know 10 over 2, right, is equal to 5. Or 20 over 5 is equal to 4. So immediately I have my answer. I mean, very quickly, in 1 step. I just had to do that 1 extra step in the beginning with my formula. So that's the kind of thing you're learning to do here. It's just a little more complicated, but it's the same idea. Yes? Yes?
So, would you be able to simplify the top lines?
No. Not really, because, I mean, if they were numbers, it'd be easier. I could do this. I could say M is in both of these, right? So I could say M and then A plus B.
Yeah.
But that's what I had here.
Oh, and then it just be going back to
Right, and you're just going back. So, you know, it's like it's your call on how to do those sometimes. But when they're all just letters and variables, it's sometimes you kind of have to guess which way is, decide which way is best. So I think that's it for now. I think that'll help you get through the homework. There's only one other section in the homework tonight. I was talking about overall averages, and I think you should read that. And if you have questions tomorrow, oh wait, I have the homework. Don't leave anybody.
Okay, we're just gonna leave.